everybody, and welcome to day 13 of our yoga challenge. We are going to get started in seated pose, coming to the top of our mat. Bringing your hands to your knees and closing your eyes. Rock back and forth a little bit, find your balance. Bring your shoulders over your hips, having your spine be neutral. Gonna inhale for 4 and exhale for 4. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Last one. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Bringing our hands out to the sides of our bodies. We're going to inhale our hands overhead, finding a slight back bend at the top, and exhale, floating our hands down beside us. Inhale, our hands overhead. Exhale, our hands down beside us. Inhale, bringing our right hand to our left, or our left hand to our right knee, and our right arm out about a foot behind us, coming into a spinal twist. Take a few breaths here. With every inhale, grow your spine a little bit taller, and every exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Inhale your hands overhead. Exhale, twist to the left, bringing your right hand to your left knee, your left hand out about a foot behind you. Take a few breaths here. Inhale our hands overhead, bringing our hands down through heart center and coming into tabletop. Taking the time to make sure that your hips are stacked over your knees and your shoulders are stacked over your wrists, pressing the mat away from you, coming out of your shoulders. On an inhale, we're going to drop our bellies towards the mat, bringing our gaze in front of us. Exhale, round our spine. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round your spine. We're going to rock our hands out in front of us just a little bit, coming into high plank, and then we're going to lower all the way down to the mat. We are going to bring our hands out wider than our mats, just off our mats just a little bit, coming onto our fingertips. On an inhale, we're going to come up, bringing our chest up off of the ground, and on an exhale, we're going to take our right shoulder, we're going to twist to the left, and we're going to bring our right shoulder down towards the mat, not all the way, obviously, coming into a shoulder stretch. This is a pretty deep shoulder stretch, so go as far as you can. You want to twist your gaze to the left side of your mat. Breathe here for a few. On an inhale, come back up. On an exhale, drop your left shoulder towards the mat. Nice stretch on the left. On an inhale, come back up. We're going to come into Sphinx pose, putting our shoulders over our elbows and bringing our forearms to the ground. Just like yesterday, we can stay here, setting up the pose, getting into the deep bend in our back. And if you'd like, you can push the mat out just a little bit. you're pushed up, lower your elbows back towards the mat. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and push up into child's pose. Bringing your toes together at the back of the mat, leaving your knees out wide. On an inhale, we're going to walk our hands to the left side of our mat, bringing our right hand over our left hand for a nice side stretch. We'll be here for a few breaths. Inhale your hands back to the center, and then exhale your hands out to the right side. Bring your left hand on top of your right, coming into a stretch for the left side. And next inhale, we're going to walk our hands back to the center, coming up into tabletop. We are going to pop our knees up off of the ground about an inch or two, really firing up the core. Come into down dog. This is our first down dog of the day, so walk it out and do what you need to do here to make your body feel good. Come into some stillness in your down dog. Take 2 deep breaths here. And inhale to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale your arms overhead. Flow through one more sun salutation A at your own pace, meeting in mountain pose, taking 1 breath in your down dog. Once we met in mountain pose, bring your hands to heart center. Shift your weight into your left foot and bring your right foot parallel to the mat, or in your right thigh. On an inhale, we're going to tip forward, shooting our right leg back behind us, coming into warrior 3. Leave your hands at heart center. Flex your toes back towards the mat, trying to roll that right hip down towards the mat. On an inhale, we're going to bend into our standing leg and drop our back foot, coming into a crescent lunge. Sweeping our hands overhead. Set up your crescent lunge here, finding your balance, being strong in that back foot on the ball of your foot. We're going to take our left hand, we're going to swing it around to the right, or to the left, twisting to the left side of the mat, coming into a twist. Swing your hand right back up, coming into crescent lunge, and then put your back foot down, coming into warrior 2. Hinge from your hips and come into extended side angle. Leaving your forearm resting on your knee, and shoot your right hand overhead, bringing both of your shoulder blades smooth down your back and shining your chest towards the ceiling. On your next inhale, come back up to warrior 2, and then cartwheel your hands down to the mat, going through chaturanga. One breath in down dog. And step or hop to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, forward fold, and sweep your hands overhead. Shift your weight into your right foot. Bringing your left leg parallel to the mat. On an inhale, we're going to tip forward, shooting our left leg out behind us, coming into warrior three, keeping your hands at heart center and making sure your left hip is rolled down parallel to the mat. On an inhale, we're going to bend into our standing leg, bringing our back leg to the mat, coming into crescent lunge. Set yourself up here. When you find your balance, sweep your hands overhead. On an exhale, we're going to sweep our right arm back behind us, twisting our torso to the right, coming into a twist. On an inhale, sweep your hands overhead, come back into crescent lunge, and on an exhale, come into warrior two. On an inhale, we're going to hinge from our hips, coming into extended side angle. Sweeping our left hand overhead, bringing our right arm to our thigh and shining our chest towards the ceiling. Come back into warrior two. Cartwheel your hands back down towards the ground, flowing through your chaturanga. Coming into down dog, finding some stillness here. We'll be here for 3 breaths. On your next inhale, roll your spine up to high plank and lower your body all the way down to the ground. We're coming back into Sphinx pose. Bringing your shoulders over your elbows and your forearms to the ground with your hands out wide. I want everyone to try to lift up through their hands. So push your hands into the mat and lift as far as you can. If you only come up a few inches, that's okay. If you can come all the way up, do so. On an exhale, lower back down to the ground. Bringing your hands out about hip width distance, or bring your hands out to the sides of your mat. We're going to bend our right leg towards our bum. We're going to grab it with our right arm. Flex your toes back towards your knee and push out. Coming into half bow pose. You should feel strength in your thigh, and you should feel your foot pushing against your hand. Lower it down. Bring your right arm back towards the front of your mat. And then do the same on the left side. Grabbing your left ankle. Flexing your left toes back towards your knee and push out. Release the bind. Now we're going to try to grab both ankles at the same time. So bring your legs back towards your bum. Reach around behind you and grab your ankles. If this is as far as you can go, that's okay. Just think about rolling your shoulders on your back, keeping your shoulder blades flat on your back. If you'd like, you can try and push your ankles against your hands using the friction here to pop up a little bit, raising your thighs off of the ground, kind of like we were in locust pose, but we're just grabbing our ankles. You want to keep your spine long, so make sure that you're looking an inch or two off of your mat, and breathe. Making sure your toes are flexed back towards your knee to protect your knees. Release everything down to the mat, bringing your left cheek to the mat, or your right cheek, whatever side you favor more. And rest here for a second, taking a few deep breaths, and close your eyes if you want to. Bring your hands just under your shoulders, coming into child's pose with your big toes together at the back of the mat and your hip or your knees out, mat distance wide. Let your your torso hang heavy in between your knees. You can rock your hips back and forth a little bit if that feels good too. Bring your hands towards your body, bringing your knees together, tuck your toes, sit back down on your heels, giving your feet a nice little stretch. Just breathe here. Come up off of your heels, tuck your toes, and come back into seated with your feet out long. We're going to take our right foot. We're going to bring it into our inner thigh, placing the sole of our foot against our thigh. Make sure to square your hips over your left extended leg. Raise your hands overhead and then forward fold. Grab the backs of your feet, your ankles, your calves, whatever feels good for you here. Inhale, rise up. Shoot your left leg or your right leg out and bring your left leg in, bringing the sole of your left foot and pressing it into your right inner thigh. Square your hips over your extended leg. Inhale your hands overhead. And exhale, fold. Make sure to keep your toes flexed back towards your face. On an inhale, come back up. Shoot your legs out in front of you. Inhale your hands overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come back up to seated. Come into butterfly pose, bringing the soles of your feet together. Grab your toes and open them up like you're reading a book. On an inhale, shrug your shoulders towards your ears, and on an exhale, smooth your shoulder blades down your back. Forward fold, keeping your back straight. You can rest your elbows on your thighs if you'd like to kind of give them a little bit more of a push downwards for a deeper stretch. Shoot your legs out in front of you. Bring your arms parallel to the mat and slowly lower down. We're going to come into happy baby. So bring feet up towards the ceiling. Shoot your hands on the inside of your legs and grab the outsides of your feet. You can rock side to side here if you'd like. Do whatever feels good for you here. Bring your legs down to the mat. Bring your palms down to the mat. Palms facing up. Close your eyes and rest in this pose. Let your breathing be natural. Bring some awareness back into your body. Roll over on your right side, bringing your knees into your chest. Push up into seated. Bring your hands to heart center. Bow your head, close your eyes. Thank yourself for showing up on your mat today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.